UK election news now, and obviously when you set the UK election, which is coming on July the 4th, alongside America and India, it does seem like a pretty disappointing jam stall at a village fete. But our politicians are heroically trying to make it as bonkers and shit as possible. Rishi Sunak, the acting Prime Minister, who had, as we reported last week, a very soggy start to his campaign, calling the election whilst being physically and metaphorically rained on by fate, has been struggling, I think, to sort of really cut through to the broader public, and came up with one of the weirder suggestions of recent election campaigns, in which he pledged to bring back national service for Britain's 18-year-olds. Obviously, this was reported as being all kids are going to have to serve in the military, which wasn't what the public was. But to be fair, the Conservatives did promote it as essentially a military thing with the sort of branding and the language that they use for it. Admiral Alan West, a former First Sea Lord, proclaimed that the idea is, quotes, basically bonkers. Richard Dannett, former Chief of General Staff in the military, called it electoral opportunism. Personally, I think the idea of national service being brought back is a fantastic one. Now, I don't generally support the Conservative government and Rishi Sunak. I don't generally agree with their ideas. This, I do think, is a brilliant idea, trying to create a sense of social cohesion and communal responsibility in a divided nation. I just think they're getting the wrong people to do it. It shouldn't be 18-year-olds. It should be everyone else, frankly, that isn't 18. And if that's not logistically feasible, which it isn't, this is 2020's Britain we're talking about, nothing is logistically feasible, not getting a fucking train to run vaguely on time or stopping a turd going for a bathe in the sea, then it should be, I think we should aim for national service for people aged, 65 and over. Maybe just replace retirement with national service. It would give old people something to do, give something back to society. Anyone, there should be like an earnings limit on it. So as soon as you start earning over a certain amount, bang, you have to do your national service. Maybe £200,000 a year, or maybe you've got more than £1 million in assets, and then you do your national service. Anyone who voted for Brexit, obviously, they should be first on the list, and anyone who's donated over £10,000 to a political party. And that would create some sense of social... Okay, but telling the young, who've had no say in what the nation is today, they've had no influence in the nation-splitting cantankerousness fueled divisions of Brexit, or in flogging off our national resources to anyone who'll pay, or stripping to the bone of the structures of our national life, telling them that they need to be more patriotic, that really does not add up for me. It reminds me of when I met the artist Damien Hirst whilst I was washing a cow in a bathtub, and he started shouting and screaming at me about how you should never put animals in liquid. That is how I see it.
Andy, I've only spent a couple of summers in your country, and I have a quick question. Don't you already have a sort of compulsory thing that young people have to do? Don't all your young people every June have to go to a place called Glastonbury?
We do have that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's sort of like military service, right? They have to roam around semi-naked, shouting, "I'm looking for Stormzy." Like,
yes.
It's in this mad
and often in very muddy conditions, reminiscent of the worst excesses of the First World War.
It's trench warfare, essentially.
Absolutely. Yeah.
The military aspect of this was very concerning to me, right? Because it seems to me from afar that because younger voters tend to lean left, the Tories are playing the long game by proposing a system that will vastly cut down on the number of young people, right? Just by making them serve in the military. Which I also don't like, because I don't trust, no offense, a beefed up British military not to get too excited and start colonizing again. You get a bunch of virile 18-year-olds together, and they're going to take over an already inhabited island and rename it after a member of the royal family. That's just what they're going to do.
You can't change a nation's DNA, Josh.
Yeah.
Here in America, well, so similarly, here in America, we're constantly talking about how to drive youth turnout in elections, and Rishi Sunak has solved that problem, but only for getting young people to vote against him. It seems like we need to find a conservative candidate like that back here, someone running on the MAGA ticket, whoever Trump chooses as a vice president from jail, to alienate everyone under 25 by being like, when I'm elected, skinny jeans are back.
In other election news, the Labour Party looks pretty much nailed on to win the election. That's a term, of course, that goes back to the very first Easter, nailed on. But anyway, However, it's not taking this inevitable victory lying down and is in the midst of what is now Labour's traditional internal party squabbling stroke civil war, with arguments over whether Diane Abbott and other more left-wing Labour candidates should be standing. We will have more on this over coming weeks, including at the Bugle Live election special show on the 23rd of June at the Bloomsbury Theatre, where Anuvab will be joining me to give the latest on the Indian elections, and Nish Kumar will also be there. Buy your tickets online. It's quite a big theatre, so buy lots.
Andy, can I just say, I will be there, but I won't be speaking. God will be speaking. I just want to clarify, quickly clarify that.
Wow, what a gig that is turning out to be.